Welcome, everyone, to another new teaching show. I'm once again joined by the intrepid Laura Massey in her kitchen, Dale in his kitchen, and Maty behind a blue screen in his normal room, and me in my place with a video camera that doesn't seem to want to work today. Welcome to the show, everybody. We are going to be talking awakening our DNA spin suit
Ooh.
spiritual technology. Everyone that is out there, we've had a laugh in the background because there are times after doing a few thousand shows, you're like, well, what are we going to do today? And Laura happened to pull one out from, I don't know, 7, 8 months ago, one that had been turned down a half a dozen times. And this morning we chose this one, and we may be regretting it or not, but either way, we are going to jump into awakening our DNA skin suit spiritual technology. And with that said, we're going to put Laura Massey on the spot right now to tell us about combined healing therapies.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. We're back in York from the 27th of September until the 6th of October with our combined intensive healing therapies, which many of you have heard of now. And hopefully you've read some of the reviews we've been putting out there on Facebook. Wonderful reviews for some wonderful people who have received some really awesome treatments. And the key to all these treatments is they're done consecutively. So you can go and have a Lucia light somewhere, just a one-off. You can go and have the odd float. But what we do is put all these infrared sauna, flotation therapy, we do some massage, we do CST while you're under the light and on the PMF mat with the magnetic therapy as well. We do it all together. And we also incorporate the shamanic side of it for those who are really interested. We can do the light language, the ancestral balancing, and the psychic surgery. So there's 4 of us working with you. And the results that we're getting from this are really deep, profound healing. We love what we do as well. And we love interacting with everybody who steps forward and wants to do this. So if you are interested, there is a combined therapies landing page. It's on Andrew's website, andrewbartzis.com, and it's also on twofeathersmedicine.com. And you will now see a buy now button, I think, has been put on there. You can see everything that we're doing from the one day introductory, the 2-day sessions, and the 3-day, and then the 5-day one. Each day is building on the previous day. And on the 5-day course, you get the hyperbaric chamber as well. In York, we're able to offer all of this. And we're all very excited about being up in York again. We have been so successful with the first one in July that we've got people coming back again because they liked it so much. So it's all really exciting, and we'd really love you to join us.
We have one other thing to announce. Our producer, Joel, who has been a producer for us for about 9 months now, is about to have a baby. And we are going to be doing a donation drive for Joel and his lovely wife, Morgan. So, can you put up the link for everyone to go and give a donation to Joel? Joel's baby shower diaper thing that's going to be a massive change for him. His first child. Joel, come in here a second and say hello.
Hello.
It's everyone. You have all heard Joel comment here and there in the background, but this is the official Joel. Joel, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for bringing me on.
So, you are about to have your first child. How does it feel?
It's very exciting, but it obviously has some anxieties to it, some uncertainties, but it's going to be a huge change for us, and we're really excited.
And you're trying to do a natural birth at the same time.
Yeah, we're going through the challenges of preparing for birth and all of that, and making sure that it occurs the way that we're envisioning. as best we can.
Shoot
you know.
out like a football.
What was that?
It doesn't just shoot out like a football.
Oh yeah. I mean that might work out better. I don't know.
When it begins,
She's going to tell you, Joel, go long, go for a pass.
Yeah.
Midwife said to me on my last one, just catch.
Just catch. You got a bat, a catcher's mitt.
No, but you know, I'm gonna try and rise to the occasion. I hope not be no fumbles.
When it happens, man, and you never know how it's going to happen or what's going to happen. It just happens, and sometimes all those plans that you made just go out the window, and it's just like, oh.
Joel, did you get the link? Were you able to see the link?
I don't have it in front of me. I was about to go dig it out to post it, but if one of you guys have it, if you could send it to me real quick.
I don't have it. Maybe Laura does.
Okay, I can quickly get it.
Oh, thanks, Dale.
You put that in the description for the show, and for everybody that's out there, give a little something for a first-time papa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very generous. Much appreciated.
Well, we love you, Joel. We couldn't do all this production without you.
No, you're a great behind-the-scenes man.
Yeah, Joel has been a part of the year-long phallus jokes. The Year of the Phallus by Dale
Looks like it paid off for him.
Dale Sauce.
Yeah, definitely been.
Yes, it has.
He was also there for the time change.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
about to come up again, and I'm not being defeated this year.
Oh, yeah.
So everyone, we're going to be
lots of
taking
warnings.
bets how defeated the time change will defeat Dale this year.
Yeah. How many times we'll get it wrong?
How many times
Last year,
conversion.
Time 12, Dale 0.
I wasn't that bad, was it, guys?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were.
Yes, it was.
Every show.
Every show there's a moment before where Andrew had to go over some things with me. It's like, right, so when it's this time here, this time, and I'm just like, no.
Even your mistakes were
had
inconsistent.
this issue as well. If you listen to Amy, fellow time.
We need to get your
It
world
was funny
clock.
because sometimes you thought it was before, sometimes you thought it was after, and it was like, it was like this, wasn't it? Gosh.
The best one was when I was at a shop. Surprise! When I was back in my shop days, and you're like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "At the shop. We start in another hour." And go, "No, we start in like 4 minutes."
That happened more than once, Dale.
Yes, it did. But how good I am now! I'm on time all the time now.
Yeah, the thing is, you still made it on. You were driving with your headphones on, and you were still a part of it. It was just, where's Dale? He's late.
It was like Andrew back in the old days. It was, you had to do the shows on the bounce. Remember the recorded the radio shows, Andrew?
Sure, but I told you that was coming.
Yeah.
I was training you that way on purpose. And look what it's done for you.
So, guys, in the chat we have the link for Joel and if you want to make a donation to assist him on his journey of being a father. So the link is in the chat for you. Anything will help, and we really appreciate it. And giving Joel the best present he can possibly get. Well, he will have the best present, having the first child. I'm happy for you, brother. Congratulations. It's very special.
Thank you. Yeah, and you guys have been like super supportive all year and give me a lot of insight and wisdom and good support. So I appreciate that.
Wonderful. And when's the due date?
It's middle of October. We're within a month of it, so any day now. It's something like probability doubles every week that passes. So we're just ready to hit the ground running every day.
Great. And if you could put this link in the show description so everybody else that gets it in the future can get to it too.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
All right, Joel, you're wonderful. We love you, and good luck, and may you have many more children.
And I hope to learn what I need to do with my skin suit today.
We're already halfway there, brother.
Exactly.
I think you got a fairly good idea.
With that said, we are going to put Maty on the spot because he asked a question. I said, no, I won't answer. So Maty has to ask the first question.
Which? Oh, I'm confused. Which
No,
question?
that
did I
was
ask?
me, Andrew. I said you won't answer it. I put a bet that you won't answer the question.
No, I said no to Maty too. Because Maty
what
asked
was
the
Maty's
question. I
question?
said no to that.
I don't remember.
Well, you have to ask the first show question about awakening our DNA skin suit spiritual technology and not sound like a light worker.
Okay. Oh God. We were just discussing this before the show. It's like, has anybody actually got any questions? So, each individual part of our body, Andrew, has a spiritual, a seen and an unseen factor to it. Correct?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. So, I'll pick a body part then, shall I?
Sure.
Let's start with the phallus. So, what is the greater implications of the phallus? What is its spiritual karmic resolution?
Yeah. First thing, it's our procreation device, and it's our bliss tool. Okay. Now they can all be misused and abused, or used correctly. Now, what's the effect of having children? We just talked about that. Generations continue. It also continues generational karma from abuse, whether it's for or against the person. It also has the bliss factor to it. The self-discovery of every child going through masturbation throughout since the dawn of time, or the use of it to create loving, long effects that create deeper forms of love, even if children aren't created through it. It also allows a greater spiritual perception as well as greater energy to flow through our bodies for our creative outsourcing. That's the phallus in a nutshell.
What about the nuts? The testicles?
You mean D's nuts?
The D's nuts. What about the golf balls?
Same thing. They hold the sperm. They're the glands that create the ejaculation, the lubrication, the nutrients for the sperm.
So talking about the phallus, talking about it from a seventh dimensional perspective, what can you talk about the phallus? Because I know you said there's a third eye.
Seventh dimensional phallic expression.
I know you've talked about the tip of the phallus holds a third eye type thing, which finds
but that's natural part of the human body when you're interacting with the sexual organs. To what do you think happens when you're having sex between you and another person? Your energies meet. And then when you go inside her and she gets on top of you and you're grinding on top of each other, your core energy centers are opening up to each other. So from a seventh dimensional but Dale, that's a straight light worker question. I got to throw that one back. You answer. What does a seventh dimensional density phallus do for the world?
Whatever the being wants it to, because it can do whatever it wants with it.
That's a big phallus.
There's a fallacy going on here.
Exactly. It needs 2 planets just for its nuts.
So other than the obvious differences between male and female genitalia, from a spiritual perspective, is there any disparaging differences in the way that it actually functions, in the unseen perspective?
There are some skin suits that give a sexual charisma that is palpably felt by others. There are others that instantly amplify the pheromones in the bodies, and there are others that there's more of a negative connotation to it, not from lack of size or experience or anything that. It's just the lineage itself doesn't have the same oomph as others' lineages do.
Now, I had a friend back in the day, and his dad was a paramedic who worked on the ambulances, and he said that one thing that most people don't realize is so many men try to cut off their own penis. What on earth is going on there? Why would somebody have such aversion to the technology? Because I don't believe it's just things to do with
transgenderism. That's indoctrination.
Indoctrination to cut off one's own penis.
Yeah, that's pure and near LGBTQ trans indoctrination.
Wow.
And is that the same with circumcision?
No, circumcision's religious.
A religious thing. Mm-hmm.
Now you
But
got to
that is
remember
also an indoctrination.
before the trans rights group started. In general, you had worldwide about 2,000 transgender surgeries a year for the whole world.
Yeah.
Now they're looking at 15,000. That's the size increase. But when you still compare it to the whole world, it's a tremendously small population. Now they should have the right to do that. They just shouldn't have the right to indoctrinate young children. Let children grow on their own, and then let the cultures collide and do what they're supposed to do: train, teach, learn, expand, harm, create karmas, and all the other things.
So there's a question here from Jennifer. It's an interesting one. She says, what about for gay men? Now, when you have two types of the same technology, and obviously this goes for women as well, is there a difference in the way that we co-create together in a sexual expression, or can it
Sure,
be the same?
there's not a vulva, and you're using the other hole. Now, the other hole has been used in sexual expression since the dawn of sex.
Yeah.
It's actually part of the sexual expression organs that you can reach from the back end when anal is done correctly. It can be very, very pleasurable for all parties, and there's not disgusting stuff coming out because people aren't familiar how to properly do it and make it a pleasurable process. Now, when gay people, whether they're lesbians or gay men, when both of their technologies are working in unison like that, it can be a greater form of love for a short period of time. Okay? Are men supposed to be only with women? No. For purpose of procreating, yes. But when it comes to sexual uninhibited love, it doesn't matter who it is, as long as it's creating a beauty within the two of growth.
Yeah.
Okay?
As opposed to abuse.
As opposed to abuse, correct.
Yeah.
When did this come about then? You know, for when they said, obviously they wanted you to think gay isn't right. Is that when the religion was like organized? They started trying to push that ideology. You know, that obviously it's not right to have two males together and so on. The imprint
Right,
was.
so this is an ancient issue. In Rome, it was common. In Greece, it was common. Were there people that said, hey, get your dick out of my kid? Yes, back then. So there were many groups that said, leave the children alone, and there were other groups that didn't. Now, the Romans had open slave markets. They were not good people at all in any way, shape, or form. And you could buy a slave, do whatever you wanted to it, and throw it on the street dead, and somebody would pick it up and take it away. They were trashed. There was no value to the life. Because that influenced the whole world. The Marquis de Sades of France. So you have these sexual deviants throughout history, drunks on the worst of drugs with the highest of power, creating the infrastructures of abuse.
Yeah. And so the technology that we use like that, sexual technology, obviously that process can be reversed for a negative aspect as well. What is the mechanics behind that? Why is sex such a potently important part of the dark process?
Good question. Why is
I got a good question, Dale.
No, you got a good question. Why is it? It is because they're in their highest form of power. They can seduce them where they don't lower their power. Their power is constantly raising because the temptress seducer concept is keeping them teased at this high level so that they will do high level magical effects, be batteries for other entities, be energy force that can be channeled out of them. They're just like life force. Okay?
Yeah.
They become part of a magical ritual, may not ever know it, or magical rich sexual rituals are done with them, so they have unique offspring. Dark influenced offsprings.
And so if we flip that coin and we're talking now about awakening our DNA skin suit, what's the best way for us to, using the sexual organs, use them in a way that is positive for our actual awakening, not just as a pleasure process?
Another really good question. Getting in touch with yourself of what personal sexuality means to you. Now, can a person have a masturbation experience without the image of another enticing them into release?
Yeah.
That's your personal challenge. Okay? This screws up a lot of people, though. It's
Yeah.
hard for them to go back to regular masturbation once they've done it right, and it's hard for them to go sexuality when they've done it right also. So there's a double-edged sword in learning self-pleasure, especially for women. You dull the areas. The same thing with the phallus. You dull your areas. You're used to feeling the male and the man can never reproduce the level at which you're looking for. So the teeter-totter of unique experiences, choosing your partner, choosing a partner that's equal to experience level that you are. And if you're going to choose a partner who's not the experience level that you are, what are you truly getting out of it? Are you getting more than they are? And it's like that over and over again? Then what are you trying to control out of them? When two partners are working together and are exploring together and are willing to add a spiritual process before they engage, so even if it's just a 10-minute prayer, a prayer of agreeance that we're entering this space, we're letting our inhibitions down, and we're putting up our guides and guardians to collectively protect ourselves. And then during that process, you can have something else that reassures that energy. Okay? And then at the end of the process, when you're all said and done and slept out, you finish it off by a thank you.
Yeah.
That's the very beginning of making sex sacred.
Yeah.
And sex doesn't have to have penetration to be sacred.
No.
There can be sacred cuddling, sacred spooning. Most people just don't see it as that, where they want to share their innermost core frequencies with another, but the other is afraid to share their core frequencies. And when you have a one-way relationship like that, it's damage is being done in the unseen world all the time.
Yeah.
It happens with abuse, people who've had abuse, when the one person's having sex with them and they're completely not willing to go to that next level, but the other person is.
It's not even going to the next level. Are they actively holding themselves back? There are those that won't go to the next level because it's going to involve taboos like toys. There are a lot of women who won't let a man use a toy for whatever reason, and there are a lot of men who won't use toys because it's gonna make them seem less than what they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
For me, I find that. Sorry,
hold on
go
one
ahead.
second. And then you got the people who knowingly outperform the other via sport.
Yeah.
Okay. Never allowing it to be a co-creation.
Yeah. That ties into what I was just about to say, is that for me, one of the most beautiful things I'm experiencing is the ability where two people come together and, they have certain issues with sexuality, but if you're open about it and you talk about it, instead of just keeping it all in, and you actually conversate as to how you feel. Yes, that feels good. No, that doesn't feel good. Oh, do that there, do this. And you actually come to an agreement to be able to learn each other's body language over the period of time, not just go into it as in, I haven't performed, therefore I failed. It's like, well, what is missing here? Is it emotion? Is it the type of touch, the amount of touch? And there's all these other factors that people have to use in order to allow themselves that greater experience. And that's a beautiful part of sex, if rather than just looking at it as a failure or a success or a sport.
So let's take it a step further. What does a real conversation between partners look like, and not a fake one around the bush? Never get it at the core.
Are you talking about a sexual
Yes.
conversation? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say
we need to give examples. We need to give examples for people of what a conversation really looks like.
Well, of asking them what they like and what they like doing, and listening to them, not judging them. Then the vice versa goes to the other end. What do you want to do, and so on. So listening and exploring and allowing the chicken shit to disappear.
Let's actually try. Dale, you're the male, and Maty, you're the woman.
Oh God, I love how you designated this to other people.
Come on, Dale, give it to me.
Laura's got hers coming. Laura's got hers coming. Don't worry.
Can't wait.
Okay. So, Dale, you start off. This psychic told me.
Okay. So this psychic told me.
Look me in the eyes, Dale.
So this psychic told me
to talk about sex.
Okay. I don't know what to say. I just want to laugh.
Thus, why we're doing the actual example.
Okay. So what do you? Maty, what do you like? What is your
Well,
favorite?
let me tell you, Dale. When you go in me too hard and too fast, it doesn't feel that nice. I like it when it's more gentle, when it doesn't go in all the way.
Okay, Maty.
Come on, big boy, give it to me.
He does it so well.
Okay, Maty. Well, I enjoy toys, so can you bring a few of your toys? I'm very open for that.
How's it going to help you over penetrating me?
Well, I like all aspects of sexuality. I like all areas. I'm a no holds bars person.
Well, give me your fingers and I'll show you the spot.
Okay, darling. Have you got the lube?
I'll just tell you now that isn't enough, and I'm speaking to both of you there.
No. Oh, it can be occasionally.
Now let's go. Does everyone believe that that's a real conversation between lovers? Or is that how all of yours turn out and nothing actually gets resolved or done?
Yeah. No, in actual seriousness, one of the things that I find is during sex there are ways to do it. So I like to be very close, very close facially. The face has a big part to play for me. The eye contact, the touching of the face and looking of the face and the reading of the energy and the expressions of the face. And that way you can, just tell whether something is working, whether it's not, whether it's gone too far but then also afterwards, so to discuss what's just happened, how was that for you? It felt for me like you something almost happened there. And
You're still giving great advice, but it doesn't actually help people get into the difficulty of the conversation. So, right. Laura, you're the man. Maty, you're the woman again.
Okay.
And Maty, you're going to say, this psychic told me we need to talk about sex.
Okay. This psychic called Andrew told me we need to talk about sex, darling.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Are we having
conversation?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's it. There's nothing else said.
Am I not man enough for you?
Hold on, I'm the male, aren't I?
Yes, you're the man.
Okay. Yeah, so I was just being the man, but okay. I'll be a more vacant man then. Okay. Darling, what would you like to talk about? What's the problem?
I love it when you call me darling.
Come on then, babes. Tell me what's up.
You're too rough with me sometimes.
Okay. All right. Sometimes I do that just out of just a need to have you and a need to have you close to me and a need to really feel you and to take it into another level of intensity. But if it's hurting you and you don't like it, then maybe we can find another way around that.
Pause.
Maybe we can look at this.
Pause a second. I take you there because you tune out sometimes.
Okay, yeah.
Okay? So say that. I take you that hard because you tune out at times. Maty, react to that.
I take you there because you tune out sometimes and I want to keep you with me, babe.
Well, I just want to please you. But sometimes I don't want to stop you. I don't know whether if I speak during sex, you're going to think that I'm not enjoying myself.
Oh, no, I want you to say it all. Say whatever it is you want. I want you to be totally you during sex. And then
but the kids in the the kids in the other room. Okay. Now you have to react to him saying the kids in the other room.
Oh, hold on. Him as in Maty. Okay. So, yeah, I know. I do appreciate that, darling. And maybe we can find some sort of way around this where we're not as loud, or maybe we go out. Are you laughing at someone in the chat has just joined? Alex, this is weird.
In the chat just joined Max. Hello, welcome to the show.
Hey Max, welcome to the show. We're role playing here.
We are weird.
Just joined. This is weird.
Yeah,
Oh. Oh, this is funny. So it's turned into a sex show.
Yeah.
That's it. Hey, darling.
Yeah. For some reason, yes.
Well, maybe then, when the kids are in bed and we can hear the children, maybe we can just do it slowly. Maybe we can just try to slow everything down, and we'll have to see if we can still reach the climax that way. But we really have to bear in mind that I don't want them to hear this.
Okay, great. Hold on, great examples here. I want to interrupt again. I want to change. Now, Dale, I want you to be the woman. Maddie, I want you to be the man. But Dale, you don't want to have sex more than 3 times a month. And that's your defense you're going to stick with. And Maddie has to have that conversation with you to open up to get it 4 or 5 times a month, not 3 times a month. So, Maddie, you're the man. This psychic told me we have to talk about sex.
Okay. Sweetheart, this psychic told me we have to speak about sex.
Well, I'm so busy at the moment. I've got such a busy schedule. Yeah, I'm sure we can talk about it at some point, but right now I'm just cooking.
So hang on a minute. So it's the woman that doesn't want to have sex, or the man?
Correct. The woman doesn't want to have sex.
Oh man, I have no idea what to say because this has been one of these time-old dilemmas.
The example we need to give to the audience.
I'm still trying to work this one out myself.
What's going on, babe? You need to say.
What's going on? Why don't you want to have sex?
Yeah.
Okay, have a little tear, Dale. Have a little tiny tear before you say something.
I just don't really like it, to be honest. It just makes me feel a bit oof.
Is there something that I'm doing wrong?
I just don't enjoy it anymore. I don't look forward to it or enjoy it. Fair enough, if one time every few weeks I'll do it for you, but I just don't enjoy it.
Do you think maybe if we went somewhere different, or maybe if we didn't do it in the same place, or if we took you out somewhere for dinner, or we did something beforehand, that maybe that might help you?
Yeah, it would help, and you're too fast as well. It's just done, over and done with. If it was longer, I might want to do it.
It's because you're so beautiful, darling. I just can't help it. As soon as I look in your beautiful eyes, I just climax. Maybe I need to work on that. Maybe you can show me how. Maybe we can have more foreplay instead of just go straight into sex. But it's going to require you to come with me on this journey.
Okay, well, we'll give it a go, but just make sure it's not quick this time because you never make me come, ever.
Oh, all right, Dale, come on, let's go.
Now, that is a far more real conversation than any of these other ones we had. Okay? How many people in the chat room have run into that exact conversation? Okay? How do you end round it? How do you get around a person that's giving you the no with the middle finger?
It just feels very rapey if you just keep going, It just, yeah, it's almost impossible actually, because it brings in so much guilt, and then you do actually begin to feel like you're a sex-starved pervert, and, and the more that you quite often I'm like, well, I'll just go and have a wank then, shall I, somewhere silently.
Then she's mad at you for wanking. No, then she's mad at you for wanking.
Then you do it, sweetheart. Yeah. You do it to me.
No.
I think our marriage is over.
I knew you were going to leave me.
The thing is, in that situation, they're trying to make you wrong rather than looking inward, aren't they? Rather than looking at their own trauma of why they don't want sex. And I know it's a particular thing for women who've been married a while, or I don't know, maybe older women, they just sort of grow into being friends with their husbands or partners rather than having a full and beautiful sexual life.
Or we can call it what it is, malicious control.
Yeah.
And I use the word malicious because at that level, it is a malicious control. Yeah. When you're doling it out by a schedule only when you want, it's malicious control.
Yeah.
That's narcissism, though, isn't it, really?
That's right.
Yeah. Ironically, our live count is 69.
For everybody that was trying
it
to
was
use
95, but I changed it.
For everyone that was trying to use the donate link earlier that didn't work for Joel's baby coming in. The link should work now, everybody. If you can go to the link and get a little something for Joel, our producer, who's going to be having his first child midway through October. Now
So
that
we've
we've
lost.
had this conversation, okay, nothing's been resolved from it. How does one go on with a life force, with something like that? When it's no, the wall of no is impenetrable.
Do you want the honest truth? And
Yeah.
from as me as a man, I took it for as long as I could, and then I came to the decision that I would begin to look elsewhere, and not that I would maliciously do it or that I would do it in a way that was harmful, but I opened myself up to the possibility that if it arose, I would accept it, and I had to come to that inside my heart.
So, is it right for you to go and say, if you're going to be that way, I'm going to look elsewhere in a relationship?
I don't think so. I don't know. It's difficult.
But that's all they've left you, right?
Yeah. And why should you sacrifice your sexual needs? Because they are, aren't they? That they are needs that we have to keep our body in balance and so on.
Needs, wants,
There's nothing wrong with it at all. Why should you sacrifice that because somebody wants to be that narcissistic or in that has got so many of their own issues that you've not got this sexual co-creation going on, which both of you need in a relationship for it to evolve.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Andrew, have you come across many men that have that issue where it's the women that want the sex and the men that don't want to have the sex?
Yes, men who are beginning to experience premature ejaculation, and they were laughed at a younger date. They were humiliated. They don't have a particularly large penis size. So yes, there are many traumas, as well as young men who just went through abusive relationships, and it was so hard of a challenge to get 1 ounce of sensual touch from the other person that they said no. I don't want to. We can experience it another way, until it reaches a point where the woman's like, I want it. And the man's like, no, I've been too traumatized. And unfortunately, women, that's more of what happens than when more women do that to men than men do that to women.
Yeah.
It's such a commonplace now, the abuse that women dole out onto any man. Doesn't matter, good, bad, indifferent, from the other side of the tracks. The abuse that's being doled out now is terrible. Just terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. And it really is, in all honest truth, it's a two-way street. And there's nothing more sexually arousing for a man than the woman who can perform. It's a great experience rather than the man
and actually enjoys it.
Yeah,
right.
That is the most important.
Holy shit, you enjoy this too?
Like someone who's sucking and going,
right.
I have to do this.
Not a carrot cruncher.
This is my obligation as a wife.
Yes. Just think of England. Yeah.
So, Peter, you folks seem a bit young. Have you been with a wife going through menopause? Yes. I understand how menopause works. Okay? And menopause affects every woman differently. There is no cookie cutter. Yeah. There are many women who have libido increased tenfold to the point they can't take anymore. And that's the only thing that beats their menopause. And then there are the women with menopause who shut down everything because their hormones are so screwy. Okay? But it also takes a lover on the other side to balance their energies through non-penetrating processes of emotional connection and bonding. That's ultimately what menopause is about.
Okay, are we going to go on to other body parts, or are we going to stick with sex?
We're a full show on phallus. It's all like we almost did it.
Yes.
Well, I want to take this conversation process a little different now. Okay. Let's say you have a wife that is willing, a husband that is willing, but the wife is super spiritual and the husband doesn't give a shit about spirituality. Now, Laura, you're the wife, and you were told by your psychic to talk about sex and spirituality with your partner, who's going to be Dale. So, Dale, you're a football watcher.
Yeah,
every sport, that's all you care about. Okay? Your wife cooks for you all the time. You both have jobs. You have children that have grown up and are out of the house. Okay? You do separate things. And Laura sits you down after dinner one day and says, "My psychic told me to talk about sex." Laura, pick it up.
Darling, sit down. We've got
Are you
stuff I want to talk about. Come and sit down. Get yourself away from the telly. We need to talk about this.
Can I have a beer?
Yeah, here we go.
Oh yeah, darling. Have a beer.
Thanks.
So I've been talking to a psychic who's really, really good on astrology as well. So now would be a really good time. It's a full moon, and it would be a really good time to have a night of lovemaking.
I can't.
Are you up
Football's
for
on-
that?
Football's on in half an hour, love.
Yeah, I was sort of thinking that us doing that, like, would be more important to our relationship than the football.
It's just
You know, a night together, and I've got some new underwear, and I don't know, maybe I've learnt some new strategy in the bedroom.
Well, I'd rather watch the footy. It's a semi-final. It only comes once a year. We can do that another time, Saturday night after a few beers, me and you. But not now. I've got to watch footy.
It just means I have to stay up with you to watch the football. But are there intervals in the football?
Yeah, but I'll be getting my beer and my nuts, my peanuts. So.
Yeah. I think you need to start getting angry, Laura. I think this needs a little bit.
Yes, we're getting angry. Laura, you gotta get angry.
One sec.
There is
Steve's ringing
that.
me. Hey, Stevie. What were you saying? Sorry, love. One sec.
It's okay. Do you know what? Just don't bother. But the next time you want to come, look for next time you want my body. Maybe I'll be watching netball.
Well, I might come back after a few beers. I might have changed my mind. Cheers, love. Bye. It's like door shuts.
How many real conversations has been like that?
Many.
I was going to get more like threatening, but I thought, well, that might sound so good. But some women wouldn't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
they'd be
At that point,
well,
would have gone into aggressive mode.
Yes.
yeah, it would be like, well, you know, don't bother then. They'd get like passive aggressive.
So
Okay.
Popo coming for you, Andrew.
Yeah, they're going down the street. Fire, ambulance, everything. Something's going on. Nothing's
Wow.
burning down over here as far as I can see.
Must be the
And
And just
alien
two
body.
people out cutting grass on a Thursday.
The first day grass cutting at Andrews. Every week. They must have some right grass if they're doing it every week.
All
I
right,
mean,
so,
there was a time when it. Oh,
so let's flip the conversation a little bit.
mhm.
You want to have it now, Laura.
I do.
What
Yeah.
can you do in that conversation to explain to him it's now, but not never? You're not going to put an ultimatum on it.
Okay, so how about now, darling, before the footy starts? Yeah, come on. What do you say?
I'll
We
dress
haven't
up
done it
like your
for a
favorite
while.
player. I'll dress up with your favorite player.
Oh,
And
go
I'll
on
sing
then, love.
football songs to you.
Yeah.
Hurry up. Let's see.
Yeah.
It's got to be a quick one, though. Come on.
I'll paint
I'll let you
52, number
pretend I'm
52.
your favourite
I'll
player.
paint number 52 on my boobies.
Yes.
Okay? Every time they score, you get to do something special with me.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, Dale, respond.
Or when you score, you can say goal.
All right, love. We've got 10 minutes.
You
Hurry
can get a tinny.
up. I'm setting an alarm. Hurry up.
The thing is, in that scenario,
Okay.
if I were the
You
woman, I would probably be, inclined to actually climb on top of him right there and then, and possibly begin some sort of action. You know, it's very unlikely he's going to go get off. 'Cause-
Yeah.
'cause most of the time, when you
Yeah.
touch a man's penis, his mind changes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. I wasn't sure how descriptive I could get on here.
You know, I saw this thing online where they were talking about 100 and something ways to turn a woman on, and then somebody said, "What about for men?" And they said, "I'd like to see what else you have after touch his dick." You know?
Or you could do, what you could do is you could pretend you clean him, put an outfit on and like bend over in front of him. Oh, sorry, darling.
He'd be like that.
Story.
Get out of the way, love. I'm trying to watch a footy.
Yes, I think Dale would. I think he plays that part really well.
Oh, this is hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got to start getting it. I think the woman's got to start getting it into action, isn't she, a bit more, so he can actually see what he's missing when he's watching the football.
But then if you're talking about somebody who's into spirituality versus a partner who's not, they're going to probably be trying all of their spirituality kind of ways to get them into understanding their emotions, their feelings, how they feel about things. And that's just not going to cut it.
Oh,
It works.
it's not going to work, is it?
No.
Yeah, it does work. In fact, I forgot that's what the
narrative
what
was.
we were meant to be doing.
Yeah, and so in those situations, it's probably that you know, one has to kind of almost relinquish part of the spiritual system in a way.
Yeah.
See, now we're hitting. Now we're really hitting. We're really hitting some of the good subject matters. A spiritual woman's not going to want the game on. It's going to offend them.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's competition.
Yeah, because they're not into football. Yeah.
It's competition.
Because they've got zealot views about competition.
The game is more important.
Yeah.
Why is the game more important
than me?
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of women have to ask that. And they won't like the answer because I've been a bitch for 20 years. Okay? Unfortunately, that's the truth for many situations. Not all of them. When you shut a man down and sports are more important to him 5 years later, whose fault is that? Whose fault is that?
Yeah.
You shut him down so many times, sports was more important.
Because there would have been a time with that guy where sports wasn't more important.
Yes.
Right.
And you would have been a different person. You know, the wife would have been in a different mindset.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'd like to say something as well. Oh, go ahead, Andrew.
No, go ahead.
Well, it's not quite relating to this, but and I don't mean any offence by this at all either. But for us men, when women are having their menstrual cycle and they become aggressive or they become confrontational, that part can really ruin a relationship, because you have one person for 3 weeks of every month and a different person for 1 week of every month. That means for 1/4 of your entire relationship, you have somebody who's aggressive, confrontational, and hard to get along with. And for a woman, a lot of women, once they finish that cycle, they go back into normality and they kind of forget about what's just happened. Whereas for us men, we're still in that trauma. And that trauma carries on for us once you have balanced your hormones and become normal again, shall we say. And I don't mean this offensively, but that is a huge trauma for a lot of men, myself included.
Right. Okay. Now, with that being said, that's a huge trauma for men that women do not see.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Laura, as a woman, why is it hard to see that?
Because we can get taken over at some times by parts of ourselves that almost don't want to see that. And I've had to work through some stuff recently, which is maybe why you asked me that question. An aspect of myself that has become maybe quite demanding and not able to take on other people's or, say, partners' perspectives on things, and forgetting to apply the free will and not treading on someone's journey as well. And women do forget it, and I've forgotten it myself before, because you get on a very I sort of got wrapped up in what I wanted and my needs, forgetting about the balance of both of our needs.
Yeah. Now I want to add a little something into this. Many women don't recognize the trauma, and when they want to go to fix it, because they don't want to leave their partner for whatever reason, they're faced with a man who has been traumatized to the point sports is more important.
Yeah.
Knowing full well that if you come from the spiritual perspective, the man's going to reject it because he's not a spiritual person. That means you need to come to it from their perspective. And unfortunately, a lot of women won't lower themselves to that. because the journey of the woman's self-discovery and turning off their libido was traumatizing to them too. There's a double form of traumas that have to be overcome. The woman who turned it off, okay, and then there are a lot of women in the beginning, twice a week, 8 times a month, 96 times a year is too much for them. Twice a week, 8 times a month, 96 times a year. When that's cut down to 12 times a year, 4 times a year. And it's actively being shut off, and the energies are being used in other places and spaces. So when a woman wants to go and turn on her libido and the man doesn't respond, it's the vicious cycle of trauma.
Yeah.
Andrew, can
And
I
the
ask a
break
question?
from the woman, how you break this vicious cycle is going to be how you enjoy each and every sexual activity. If you truly don't feel like having sex, then don't do it. But there also comes a point where you go, I've shut my partner down, and that this issue is me, not them. And the more I blame them for wanting it more than twice a week is my issue, not theirs. And then a lot of times, women, you want it all the time. You want it 6, 7 times a week, when in reality, the woman doles it out twice a month, 3 times a month, maybe 4 times a month, but they think you're asking for it 30 days in a row. And that just isn't true. And that's another trauma men endure over and over again. The absolute lying about the wanting of it.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's what destroys a man's libido.
Yeah.
It destroys their mental confidence.
Here's another one as well. And we have discussed this slightly before, but this is a big one. And I hear this from many men when I was in, work, is that eventually sex becomes, because obviously a man penetrates a woman. So this is not misogynistic here. And obviously I'm male as well. So this is just my experience and the experience of other men that I speak to, is that eventually in relationships, what happens is women, they give sex to men as either a chore or as a favor. Yep. And so they actually are not enjoying it. They're basically just rolling over and let you have your way. And for many men, that's the difference between getting it and not getting it. And many of them are going to just say, do you know what, I'm just going to take that. But it becomes fucking destructive, and it really destroys you as a man to have to actually go through that process. And I'm sure there's another version the other way around. But
yeah, but they weaponize it, don't they? They weaponize it as a form of manipulation.
Yeah, it's like, go on then if you have to, or whatever. And there's no enjoyment process in it whatsoever, and it's extremely degrading and demoralizing.
Well, there's no love, is there? There's no love or respect or whatever for the other person.
We want to be attractive too. We do want to be attractive too. Yeah, we're not all pretty and whatnot, but we do like to feel attractive as well. It's very important to us as men.
Yeah, I think sometimes, going back to what you said just now, Andrew, with women, I think I've sort of set the bar too high sometimes and had expectations. Sometimes we put expectations that actually stand in our way of the pure flow of the enjoyment and the natural co-creation.
So I want to add something else in here now. So let's say we go back to the woman's spirituality and the man wants to act sports. Here's a suggestion for the woman. Well, husband, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to watch this game with you, but I'm just going to sit here and look sexy. I might change once or twice. Tell me what you want to see me in, because their commercials will come up, right? I need to turn myself on. And if right now you watching sports is great, I'm going to take the time to turn myself on in front of you. But I know when the game is over, I'm going to jump your bones. But until then, I'm going to tease the fuck out of you. Is that not a way to break it right there, woman?
It is. If a woman was next to me and she was masturbating, not even full throw, just gently, I would not be able to not concentrate on that.
Exactly. You have the power of observation. Okay? So women out there who have men that are in sports, you now have an option, don't you? That isn't spiritual, because it can be a spiritual energy to stand there in your full power, showing it off to them while they're trying to watch their player score a goal.
Here's
And
my
it's going to be
sexuality.
head left, head right, head left, head right, head left, head right. Oh, commercial. I got you now, bitch.
What happens if their team loses?
Yeah, but let me console you. And if
So
the
many
team wins, yeah, you could even
Yeah.
say if the team wins by 1 goal, this will happen. If the team loses by 2 goals, this will happen.
There are men in the UK that will come into work for a whole week angry because their team lost on the
Yes.
weekend. It's unbelievable. It will literally ruin their entire life for a week because their team lost a football game. Insane.
Okay. So now let's change it to a man that works all the time, 2 jobs, supporting the family. Okay. He does his husband duty, but he's just too tired to perform the amount that the woman wants. Okay.
Yeah.
So Maty, you're going to be the woman. 2 kids, grown. You're a homemaker, and Dale, you're going to be the husband that works too much. Okay. Okay. And you're going to be slightly spiritual, Maty. You're going to be slightly spiritual, new to the material, just heard a show or two, and trying to engage your husband to see you as a sexual being who needs more than what his physical body can give out right now.
Okay, well, I'm cheating here because I know what I would like. So, gosh, how do I say this as a woman? Okay, so I can't think of how I would word this as a woman. I can think of the man's perspective, but not as a woman. This is quite difficult for me.
How come you never have enough time to come to bed with me? How come you're always too tired? How come you're always so busy? Don't you love me anymore? Don't you like my body anymore?
Yes, if
Okay,
I was slightly...
Dale, respond to that, Dale. Give Maty a second.
It's not that. I just work 2 jobs, love. It's hard enough as it is working 2 jobs, sleeping and going to work every day. The last thing I want is just sex. I'm knackered. I don't have any energy for work, never mind sex.
That's so good. That was so fucking good.
You would not say that, Maty. You would not say that. You'd say,
awesome.
Sorry about this.
Fuck yes.
You'd say, where do I fit into this then? Where do I fit into your life? How important am I in your life? Because some women would say that.
You're why I work 2 jobs. Throw the guilt right at her. This is why I work 2 jobs.
You're high maintenance, yeah.
So
she's not high maintenance. He's getting away from her.
So these bills don't pay themselves, love. So the reason why I work is to put food on table for you and kids. Without me working, there'd be no food on table. So I have to work.
Or no vacation this year.
No vacation this year. No savings. We haven't got enough money as it is, love.
Well, all I'm asking for you is just 5 minutes of your time. Maybe we can just go. It doesn't even have to be long. I'll just take you somewhere and we'll just have an experience. It only has to be 5 minutes. Why don't you just let me do it? You lie back and I will pleasure you.
I'll see how I feel tomorrow. I've got an early start tomorrow, 6 a.m.
I'm not having it. I want you in the bathroom in 5 minutes' time where the kids are on their tablets.
You can't force me. I'm knackered. I don't want to do this.
Damn. I've got no retort for that. That's rapey.
Oh, I can
That's rapey.
No, I can persuade you.
Yeah, put my hand down his trousers right now. How about now?
Dale, your accent goes more Yorkshire when you play those parts.
I reckon
noticed
that.
many more than that. There's all these northern men out there now saying, "Damn you, Dale, don't represent us that way."
All right.
That's
now
right,
that
Joel,
we've had this talking out process, let's go. You have 2 people who are super spiritual, 2 people who have both done ayahuasca, and they want to have the next level, but for some reason it just isn't working.
Okay.
It's not even about traumas or healing. Whatever it is, the technique isn't there. Okay? So who wants to be the man?
I'll be the man.
Okay?
Okay, so whoever the woman is, it's like, right, so darling, I want to really experience sexuality. We've done all of this other work, we've done all of this spiritual work, and things are good in our lives, but yet there's this one thing that's missing. And I'm not want to put any pressure on you. I certainly don't want to make things difficult, but do you think that maybe there's some way that we could take this to the next level and experience greater joy, greater pleasure for our spiritual growth and our growth as partners?
Well, haven't we done that already?
Well,
what about last time where we had bliss and we felt it for hours?
Oh gosh, well, there's not much to say to that because that sounds like they're doing it right.
No, they're still it's the repeat. It's bliss. It's the repeated things. It's the same thing over and over again.
Right. Okay. Well, it's the same thing over and over again. We I just want to see if there's new levels and layers that we can take it to.
Is not my sex sacred with you already?
It is, but I'm always looking for something more, some other way.
You want something outside of sacred. Then you want something outside of sacred. Then.
So why don't we drop some of that spirituality, and why don't we just get to basics? Like, why don't we do some role playing? We haven't done that within our spirituality.
Yeah, but that could open you up to entity. That could open you up to entities.
Well, not if we do, what if we do some sort of spiritual hygiene process first, and then I'll spank you?
Well, it would all depend on what the hygiene is. Are we going to spiritually clean the room together? We're going to redo all the crystals and everything. I mean, we're going to do it. Got to do it right.
That's right.
I think some.
Go ahead.
Sorry, it's your turn. No, it's your turn, Maty. Your turn.
Well, maybe we could, do it in a ceremonial state. So instead of opening ceremony with offerings and things like this, we could begin to touch each other. We could begin to do this naked. And with each and every opening and every bringing in of the connection, we can touch each other in a new place. Maybe we could build the energy up.
Well, this psychic told me about sacred sex. I listened to a show about him a couple days ago. And he said, if we're going to go and do this and make sacred sex a ceremonial process, that there's all this build-up work we have to do. Are you willing to do the build-up work?
Oh, yes.
Show me.
Let's go.
Okay? That's the prayer wood that has to be done, that I've been doing more than you. And then this is where the competitional spirituality comes in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one that always prays over the wood. You start the fire all the time. I'm the one that gets the drinks. I'm the one that does that. No. Competition comes in.
Why don't you just pray over my wood?
Now you're just being misogynistic. I don't think I want anything.
Well, Andrew, you really sounded offended then. You're getting good at acting as well.
Sometimes can it get so far down that spirituality route that you actually lose some of the rawness and the impetuousness
Are you calling me not a good lover?
I'm just putting it out there.
You're calling me not a good lover.
No, I'm saying it's a question. Could spiritual people sometimes have the spiritual serious stick stuck so far up their backside that it's detracting from...
You're the only thing that's ever gone in my backside, because I don't have no stick in me. I'm loose as possible. I have fun all the time.
I'm just saying that sometimes it's just nice to get back to some just 3D basics without having to pursue a lot of heavy spiritual stuff.
So what is your view with 3D basic sex? Non-sacred 3D basic sex?
Well, I don't necessarily mean non-sacred, but the way it was being discussed was that, we do a fire and then we do the crystals and then we're worried about protection, as in, being hijacked by demons and so on. And sometimes it just takes, I don't know whether that for me feels quite serious. And could there be some fun?
So you don't want to have sacred sex. You don't want the ceremony. You just want the sex.
Sometimes, yeah. There's nothing wrong in that, though, is there? I don't have ceremony every time I have sex.
Now and then.
Baby, we've done enough ceremony, we've done enough ritual, we've done enough contract revocations, we've done enough sacred stuff in this place that there are no demons here. Only the demons in your mind and the demons in my mind and whatever's stopping us from having this beautiful experience. Come on, man, let's go for it.
Yeah. There are, Maty just said
I'm
it.
questioning our relationship right now.
Me too now. Right, that's it. Go on, bugger off.
Let's go find a tantra group.
yeah, let's both be celibate. Let's just both be celibate.
Now, I'm questioning it. I'm questioning it because you've been open enough and I haven't been open enough.
Ooh.
There are things that I want in sacred sexuality that I'm afraid to talk about.
Well, here's your opportunity.
I'm too afraid. And you have to pull it out of me. And you'll have to pull it out of me.
If that happens,
Pause. Is that a real situation that comes up?
Mm-hmm.
I think it is, but I think more often than not, people would actually not verbalize that.
They again, the whole point of me acting like this is they're both spiritual. One has a trauma that's undealt with. Okay.
Yeah.
The person's just admitting they have a trauma that's undealt with. How you approach from here will determine if you can help heal that trauma or it will take over and deny the rest of the subject matter. So it is me. I know that. I can't talk about it. I don't know how to talk about it.
Would it help if we go to counselling and you talk about it with somebody?
No, I'll never go to counselling. All they want to do is put me on drugs.
Okay, so if you find it difficult to talk about, how can we go forward? How do you suggest we go forward to find some sort of resolution for this?
I like things the way they are.
But for me, that's stagnant, and you're obviously got something buried that you need to look at, and just so you can live a more fuller.
20 minutes later, the tears end. Okay, you held her for 20 minutes. Tears end. When I was young, my uncle did this to me. Truth comes out. You're not supposed to have sex with her after that. You know that, right?
No.
Everyone else out there?
Absolutely.
After there's an admission like that, it just shouldn't be done. Let the admission be the admission. And there are many people who have that as a partner. You got to let them cry. You got to let them come to their own terms. You got to let them come to the frequency that the truth can come out. You don't need to know the gory details. You just need the truth to be admitted once, and then you can begin the healing process.
Yeah. It just needs to be out there, doesn't it?
Exactly.
But what about if that happens, then it goes back to that straight away and it just continues that repetitive...
Then it's the same thing with the sports guy. It's no different, isn't it? It's no different than the sports guy. An undealt with trauma. Okay? So now that we've shared all the different conversations about sexuality, the actual conversation, people out there, it's tough to have these conversations, isn't it? Especially when the other person doesn't respect your position on libido in general. Okay? Now, there are many people who are like, well, you should just end the relationship. No, that's not viable for most people in the relationships. They don't know how to live on their own. They've been in love with that person on and off for so long that taking them away would create chaos in their own life.
Isn't this where, Andrew, a lot of the self-empowering techniques or the shamanistic techniques that you have taught and we've understood, like not treading on another's journey and taking the sacred neutral path, they do help in this situation. They help you understand things from a higher or another perspective.
Yep. Help you understand, because perspective is everything at this part of the journey. Understanding another person's perspective, getting out of the rigidity of your own perspective, and actually allowing another person's perspective to mean something to you.
And if you really genuinely love or care for that person, then that shouldn't be difficult either, because that is the mutual respect that you're coveting, isn't it?
Yeah, but it doesn't always guarantee success, though. This is the thing.
No, it doesn't.
Always guarantee success.
No, but it is the right thing to do, though,
Absolutely.
isn't it? It is the right thing to do. You can't tread on someone else's journey. Like Dale, the guy who works too much. He's working too much for the right reasons, isn't he?
That's right.
And he is being made aware of. Maybe the woman has put it to him, making it seem like a neglect of his husbandly duties, when really his priority at this particular time is to put food on the table for her and the kids, which is going to be more of a priority than sex.
And that's
And I'll tell you what would
love, isn't it, as well?
What would really, in that situation for me, if I was like that, what would really get me, what I would really appreciate would be sensuality. But even just sitting down, a massage, bringing the food to him, giving him making him something that's really gorgeous, and sitting around him and stroking him, and just nice words, kindness and gentleness, which is the complete opposite of what he's actually going through. And that could be so much more appreciated.
Make him feel good about himself.
Yeah.
Sorry, Maty, I interrupted you, but
I do it.
Making him a bit of praise.
Yeah.
Right.
Rather than trying to change. Some women, and I've done this too, Andrew knows, have gone in like trying to change what is. Right? You're trying to change that person, trying to force them to see your perspective on that issue, or on any issue, when they are doing something that they are not going to change the way they do something like that, really, because they've got their priorities. Yes. And it's support, isn't it? And loving in the truest sense.
And there can be sexual energy in that. You see, there can be sexual energy in that. It's an appreciation, and it's almost like saying, I can see that we're not going to be able to have this full-on sexual experience, but alas, I can still service you in a way that is romantic or that is expressive of how my love for you.
Yeah, this is the needs of the moment, isn't it? You're responding to the needs of the requirements of the moment, and putting some of yours aside for the moment. Because that's actually going to build a better relationship long term anyway.
Oh, it will make him love you so much. It will make him love you so much.
And make use of the holidays he has as well.
That's right.
Yeah. You can put when he's relaxed and rested, then you can, I'm sure, have your fun.
Get rid of the kids for a bit.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to have more of a long term I don't know whether agenda is the right word, but I mean that in a positive way.
The booty call plan.
So ultimately, we've now had the great discussions. We've given many different forms. We've shown people how to do it. And this is going to be one of those long-lasting, time-honored shows where people need a piece by piece of how to do it. Here's how these conversations start. Just because you think you know your partner's answer doesn't mean it's going to be the whole truth. There are a lot of times where both partners are completely misunderstanding each other. And sex is just the grand misunderstanding of each other. Okay? In a lot of sexual situations, partners hold grudges between the good and the bad. Okay? How do you get rid of sexual grudges in long-term relationships?
Romance.
The romance.
If it's possible.
Get back to the R word.
Romance.
What's romance?
Just being thoughtful in a way and making that spark. Like everyone, like a first date feeling when you fall in love with someone, trying to allow that feeling to come back, where everything's new, everything's exciting. Even though you've been together for a long time, it's a magical moment, and you want to make her feel special as well, while engaging in respect, being nice, giving her a massage, buying her something, buying her some new shoes, just making her feel good. And I know that from experience how important that shit is. And sometimes we can get so busy we forget about the importance of it. And it's fucking so important, romance. In a
Romance is
relationship.
making the other person's needs equal to your needs, but doing so in a way because you want to have that affection. It's, you want to have that reciprocal affection, because for you to make that person to have that response in that person gives you something back. It's just a constant giving and receiving, giving and receiving, giving and receiving of emotion, affection.
Like compliments as well.
It's an allowance. It's an allowance without that demanding energy of what you must have.
Yeah, it's a recapturing of that specialness, of that connection that you have, so that when things don't have to be so mechanical, they don't have to be so demanding, they don't have to be so debatable, because that there's enough, to use one of Andrew's words, co-creation going on between you, that you're always thinking about each other's needs, and to service somebody else's needs is a pleasure to you, not a chore.
Yeah, and finding the joy again, isn't it?
That's right. We're finding the joy again. And
Compliments
romance
as well.
does not mean penetration.
No.
Romance can be you just sitting with him, snuggled up with him while he watches the football game, just holding space for that moment. If it's he doesn't have your 100% attention, don't take offense to that. The fact that he's allowed you into his frequency to be that close. So what if you hate sports? You can read a magazine while you're doing it. Okay? That's all. You could look at your phone. You can still be that close and share unique energies with each other, and it be romantic.
Yeah.
Or have a tin of beer with him.
Yeah. Or have a drink or whatever, or just say, hey, can you explain the game to me? Okay?
Yeah.
Try to enjoy it. Show a little enthusiasm for their things they like. And they might show some for your things you like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's finding the common bonds rather than creating distance.
Exactly.
Things that you can share together too.
No strings,
which
love.
can lead to other things.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say the sports guys. It's the playoffs, where the teams are gonna go for the World Cup or whatever it's gonna be. Can you be enjoyful for them?
Buy them a
Can
t-shirt.
you say if your team wins, you get this, this, and this? If your team loses, I get this, this, and this? And make a friendly human bet on it? Can you? Or does that cheapen it?
Because you actually have to have affection for one another to have that experience. That's the thing. It's not a competitive experience. You have to genuinely have that feeling for one another.
Right.
The thing is, if you go in battling that's just a destructive energy at the end of the day, isn't it?
It can be, yes.
If you battle, I'm thinking of the football situation.
Listen, Maty already said it. If there's a woman's fingering them right in front of them, they're going to be having a problem with it, all right, the whole damn time. They might tell you to stop doing it. Hey, I'm watching the game. And then you take offense to it. Okay? Okay?
I mean, that's just one thing you can do as well. There are many other things you can do that would definitely get my attention.
Exactly. You just got to not take offense to their gaze to the television. You take it as the challenge.
Yeah.
What can I subtly, passively do that will make him pay attention to me naturally, not forcefully?
Yeah.
Cleaning naked.
Yeah, not you must.
You're there cleaning away naked. Like, what the fuck? You're just walking around the house naked.
That works in many
Yes, it
relationships,
does.
all right? Sometimes all it takes is a little jiggle of something and they're up and going.
Logical.
Yeah.
Bit of a booty shake.
All right, guys. I think we've talked this show out. We've had a really great time. So, Laura, give a way for people to get a hold of you.
Yeah, sure. Laura2feathers@gmail.com. And please contact me if you're interested in the combined healing therapies in New York at the end of the month. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Dale?
If you'd like any sexual advice, so if you'd like any soul surgery, psychic surgery, head over to my website, daletobin.com. I've got my last live training tomorrow from 6 p.m. UK time. There's still spaces available if you'd like to join me for psychic surgery training. It'll be my last live one as well. It will be going onto the website, but it'll be the last live one. So thank you again, guys.
Maty?
Okay, so if you want to get my attention, no videos of the before mentioned activities, please. Just go on to twofeathersmedicine.com, click on my name, and there'll be a link there for you to email me for private sessions or whatever else you may require.
All right, everybody, you know who I am. You go to my website, andrewbartzis.com. You have 1 week left to sign up to the mentorship class. So for those of you who have never done a mentorship class, the level 1 is starting. For those of you who have already done level 1 and want to go on to level 2 or level 2 going on to 3, those are available. You got a week left to sign up. All right, everybody, we will see you this coming Tuesday for the next Talking Stick show. Actually, no, we have a Friday game stream. Sorry.
Okay, and then Tuesday.
And then Tuesday. All right, Joel, take us away.
Ciao.
Bye. Thank you.